Welcome back to the Layover Podcast, the podcast you can listen to between your travels, when you're dreaming of travels,
or if you're just that little bit interested in the digital nomad, remote work and travel content creation lifestyle.
My name is Michael, a digital business owner who runs a multi-six-figure business whilst being a full-time traveller, hoping to pass on some of my experience, successes and failures as a full-time digital nomad.
And my name's Josie, a travel content creator running a travel-based YouTube, TikTok and everything else social media business, ready to give you a peek behind the curtain of an industry where people don't often give you the whole truth. Well, it's been a while.
Long time no speak.
Speak, yeah, not even see. It's no speak.
Long time no speak into this microphone.
I guess we have some explaining to do.
No, never justify anything in your life.
So, well, it's been a long time. We did 2 episodes in Ghosted.
We did 2 episodes in Ghosted, and low-key, we do make fun of other people for starting a podcast and then ghosting it. But I promise you, our ghosting wasn't a result of not wanting to do the podcast or it not having results that we wanted it to have. A lot happened really, really fast with YouTube.
Yeah, and everything else. I feel like we thought that we could travel, because the last time we did our episodes was here.
It was literally upstairs.
Yeah.
In this same building.
Which we'll explain in a second.
Yeah.
But I thought then after we went on our adventures to India and everything, we thought we could keep doing everything.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out.
Do you want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
The last time that we did a podcast, you had 580,000 less subscribers than you have now.
Not to mention on everything else as well.
Yeah.
Like YouTube went off, but so did
Other platforms.
other things.
That
Whoa.
580,000 subscribers and probably close to 400 million views.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Later is probably the explanation as to why things have taken so long for us to prioritize this podcast.
Well, plus traveling to these countries that we'd never gone to before.
Totally.
And like I said, I thought that we could continue to carry all plates, but some plates fell, and one of them was the podcast.
I've never heard a plates analogy before.
Yeah, so I heard it like when I was like younger and I was at work, and it's kind of like one of those things where you're
Like
kind
a
of like
waiter.
a waiter and you're balancing all these plates, right? Which is all the different things you're doing. Don't laugh at me.
Never heard it.
Back in my day, it was like, you know, B2B business and like
Yeah.
incoming in emails, all those kind of things. But now it's like YouTube, TikTok, etc. And then if all of them are spinning, it's hard.
The plates are spinning as well.
Well, it's hard sometimes to balance. So when one of them, if you're trying to like hold them up, right? And if one of them, like some of them fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is if you go to a restaurant
Don't
and a
spin your
waiter
plates.
has 10 plates and he or she is successfully spinning them all, give them a tip.
I feel like it's like an analogy. It's not really like literal.
Well, I guess what people to launch straight into that is don't understand, or I guess people probably do understand, but I guess what we want to get across is YouTube's your own ship. It's not.
Also, now you're the analogies.
Yeah, true. When you have your own business, you have tasks to do, and if those tasks are too much, you're either not up to the job, or you say to your boss, "Hey, there's too many tasks. You're giving me too much work," and you figure it out, or you delegate. But when you kind of run your own business,
Yeah.
YouTube's a business, so when things grow exponentially, you aren't always prepared to scale.
It's hard to keep up.
In a business like mine, for example, when my business grows, I know what I have to do to keep up with that demand. But when I first started, that first growth period, I just worked myself 22 hours a day and would sleep next to my computer and that sort of stuff. And that's kind of where we've been at with this YouTube channel, is that things have just...
And travel.
Well, that's the thing. When we had done the podcast, the last one, you were at 120,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And the thought process at that point was, you know, we just put up the Lao videos. They weren't doing super successful.
That was so long ago.
Now we've learned that we've kind of learned a lot more about how YouTube works, and also about January itself, which is when it was in the last podcast. When it's been 6 months.
Whoa.
So we did learn about all those things. But I guess what has changed for you since is at that point in time it felt like it would be easily manageable because things weren't so hectic. You weren't getting 10 comments a minute. You weren't getting,
100 million views.
You weren't getting these views. You weren't having positive and negative criticism coming in. You weren't having the pressures of making the next video be better than the one after, because
Yeah.
it changes when you're kind of just puttering around Southeast Asia and making a lot of the similar content. You know, when things went big, you were thinking, how can I keep this rolling? How can I keep getting bigger and better? And
Yeah.
and that's what makes you successful. But at the same time, life was drastically different around that time in terms of how much time you had on your hands, even if you felt burnt out and overworked then.
Yeah, well, just for an update, we're currently on 700,000 subscribers on YouTube.
By the time this goes up, it'll clear 700, yeah.
Easily. Then we have 325, give or take, 1,000 on TikTok. We have almost
5,000
30,000
on YouTube.
for you, yeah. Almost have 1,000, almost 29,000 on my Instagram. And just the other day, or like a couple of weeks ago, actually, I passed 1 million followers or
Million
subscribers
total followers.
on all my platforms.
Which is crazy considering you were on, what, 250,000 on all platforms the last time the podcast come out, probably?
Oh, maybe not my
Maybe
my
400.
TikTok.
You've more than doubled your total audience.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
and that's kind of where this has come from. So that's kind of our little explanation as to why the podcast has suffered, because we knew we were going. We booked the India trip by the time that podcast had come out. We knew we were going
no,
there.
we didn't.
Yeah, we'd booked the flights.
No, we didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought for sure we had.
We didn't know we were going home to your family.
Yeah, I thought we knew that we were going out. Oh, okay. Do we book that at home in Australia?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
When we were here, your family thing happened and we had to go home really quick and we didn't know what was going on.
Oh, was it my desk in Australia too?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I
It
guess
was
so.
at my desk in my parents' room after we'd been back for a bit. It just goes to show how burnt out we were at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy again because we went up another step.
Yeah, it's been nuts. It's been absolutely crazy. It's something that I never thought. Yeah, I mean, we're only a year and a half into
Oh yeah,
the channel as well. So
barely 18 months.
to have 700k subscribers in a year and a half, like not bragging, but like it's a lot of work.
Like not bragging.
No, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and also people might think, "What, you can't sit down for an hour with a microphone?" And honestly, sometimes we ask ourselves that question: Why can't you sit down? But everyone here who's listening can relate to burnout or feeling like you're doing too much, and sometimes you want to trade something in your life that you don't need to do for your mental health and rest and taking the time. And it's that Pareto's law that I talked to you about as well. The 80% of your effort only accounts for 20% of your results. And at that point in time, you were having great success growing your YouTube, and we had to kind of go all in on that.
Yeah.
We really couldn't. You barely posted on TikTok.
Yeah,
we barely
nothing.
My business suffered because we both of us just threw our head first. Like, okay, this is our chance.
YouTube and travel.
Yeah, this is and obviously, as we'll get to later in this pod as well, the region of the world we were in is one of the toughest to travel in. I would say it's probably, we haven't been there yet, but it's probably easier than somewhere like Africa, or I feel like the connections between different areas are probably going to be tougher to travel in.
Can't wait to go there one day.
Yeah, but in terms of just every moment stepping outside of your hotel being adrenaline, that's been that for 4 months straight until now, where we're chilling in Chiang Mai.
Yeah. So what's happened since is a whole bunch of travel, a whole bunch of videos on my channel and everything like that. But I've also started a private group for other travel creators. So everything's going to be linked in the description of whatever you're watching this on. But
if you're listening to this and you're a travel creator, and we don't mean if you are established, excellent, you'll get a lot out of the group.
Yeah.
If you're not established and you're starting, or you're thinking of starting, and you've got a channel up, because that's one of the things you need to get into the group, is just to basically prove that
have a channel.
Prove that
any channel.
Yeah.
1 subscriber, 2 subscribers,
in the
doesn't
travel
matter.
niche.
In the travel niche, because otherwise it won't really. The information
so
isn't
different.
really. It is different for travel creators rather than others.
And that's something that we've learned in the last, since we spoke to you last, is how different generic YouTube advice is for travel creators. It's like a whole different platform.
It's so different, so it's basically with all the experience we've gained this year, over the last year and a half really, but especially this year with YouTube, the growth of the channel and everything, we thought that we would get all the tips and tricks, all the experiences that we've learnt with YouTube, with content creation, with just distribution, with all of that we thought we would pass those things on to other travel YouTubers. Because I feel like when I started, I haven't spoken to anyone. Like, we had to kind of figure this out as we went. So
and not to mention, no, I think when you first started, people were happy to help you, and then when you started getting in the vicinity of similar subscribers to those people, they didn't want to borrow you anymore. And for me,
but it wasn't help. It was just even speaking to me.
Oh yes, even
like I'm saying like no one helped.
Yeah, but that was the main thing. That was my main motivation to say to you, hey, let's start a group.
Yeah.
Was that I felt almost sick that people who were responding to your stories and were even, giving you asked them, hey, what camera are you using? And they would write back and give you advice. And sometimes they would even comment on your videos and those sorts of things. The moment you kind of got in the vicinity of similar subs to them, it felt like this stupid competition and they didn't want to talk to you anymore because they felt
definitely
threatened.
Yeah.
And so I thought that made me feel so sick because I didn't want every creator around the same amount as you or less than you to think I can't talk to Josie and pick her brain because it's a stupid competition.
Yeah.
No, sorry, podcast R-rated. Fuck that. Like you should be able to talk to anyone in your field and get inspiration from them. And if you treat content creation as a competition, you're going about it all wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you specifically want to copy somebody's content,
Then it
which is a
doesn't matter.
future podcast we'll talk about, unless you specifically want to rip somebody off, then you're in competition with them. But everyone's having their own experiences. There's no reason you can't go to India and someone else can't go to India and both do Holy Festival or both go to an IPL game and have it be totally different content. So there's no reason why you can't pick each other's brains and learn from each other. And no matter what industry you are in the world, the best people collaborate. And I don't mean make videos together. I mean help each other with ideas and lift each other up. There's no reason you can't do it. It makes you a better creator. And we've learned a lot being in the group as well.
Yeah, definitely.
From
others. Because, again, we haven't had that opportunity to speak to people.
And people won't talk to you.
No. And there's people...
Well, actually, now people
Now they do.
Now people who you've surpassed, and when I say surpassed, I mean purely by numbers, not by quality as a creator, not any of that. I mean purely by numbers, because even some YouTubers focus too much on numbers. People who didn't speak to you before are now
definitely
trying to be nice to you.
many people.
People who didn't want to borrow you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but again, that's irrelevant, and people run their own race in their own time. They might figure themselves out, and Josie is pretty cool. Like, who knows? Like, whatever. You don't.
I mean, I'm not
anybody.
cool to you if you're not cool to me, but anyway.
But I don't judge you if you decided to talk to Josie when she hit 700k or whether she hit 7k. I don't judge you on that. I just think that that handful that were happy to talk to you and happy to comment on your stuff and be all friendly until you got to them and then to ignore you was the motivation to start this group. So the other creators didn't feel
the same as I did.
I felt
or the treatment that I got.
There's a specific creator couple, and they're from Thailand. They're from Thailand. They live in Thailand, and they were nice to you. Semi, but they commented on some of your videos, and they commented on your live once, and you commented on their live once, and then they just completely ignored you once you had the same amount of subscribers as them.
Which was before I went to India.
Before you went to India. It was while you were in Southeast Asia. And I remember personally at the time feeling so angry for you that you'd been nothing but nice to these people and they just ignored you. It felt so horrible. People might be able to figure out who they are. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. I'm not going to name drop anybody. But they live in Thailand anyway, and they go out and do... Now they're expanding more and doing other travels, and definitely put on a super nice persona.
Which I don't find is
consistent
to
no way.
the treatment of people behind the scenes.
It was horrible to just go from commenting on your stuff, being nice to you, responding to you when you commented to them, responding to you when you DM'd them, vice versa. Everything happy and friendly. Not like friends, there's no tea. It's not like you guys were best friends and then you broke up from best friendship.
Yeah.
But just to be on friendly, hey, we're creators terms to I'm not going to speak to you or acknowledge your existence because you went past me.
They still talk to other people who have similar subscribers to them.
Yes.
Just no one who's really passed them.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so
that is the motivation of the group, is so that other people who are coming up like Josie was don't feel like they're doing something wrong by being successful.
And I have that
to
linked...
help people be successful, sorry.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I said, like it's not... Everyone can win. That's the thing. If you don't copy people, which again we'll get into later on, it's just...
Not in this pod, that's a full pod.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. But...
And I think you guys will like to hear some of that interesting stuff about copying, because you will see it as viewers all the time as well.
But that is everyone can be successful. I'm not the only
Totally.
one. I'm not going to gatekeep, you know. Anyway, so that's the thing. That will be linked down below. Like we said, if you're a travel creator, no matter the size, if you want to apply to be in the group, there's a form in the description or in the, you know, thing of wherever you're listening.
Yeah, no creator too big, too small, as long as you
Yeah.
travel and you want to help each other.
Yeah, it's a very supportive community.
Yeah.
Which is why you have to apply to get in.
Yeah, you don't just get a link. You got to apply, and we'll have a look and, you know, ask you some questions.
We have a newsletter as well that goes out on Mondays, my newsletter. So that's also that we've started since the podcast. So
Yeah.
again, if you want to sign up to get like updates, weekly updates, tips and tricks, a bit more generalized things. Sometimes there's a free guide in there. Sometimes there's purchase things. Sometimes there's updates, new videos, whatever. That's on a Monday. That goes out Mondays. We've started that
Kind
too.
of like a bit of a letter from Josie to
Yeah,
you.
so that's also in the description bar of wherever you're watching this. I also started a second channel. So I've only got one video.
Should probably explain the motivation behind that.
Okay.
I think so, because it's a bit weird. Personally, I can see how some people might think, oh, just trying to cash in or whatever.
Well, that's because we've got 2 comments saying that. That's why you're saying that.
First of all, it's too much work to just say cash in. Like, YouTube is the biggest zero-sum game in terms of, to just cash in is like, before you did YouTube, I thought there were people out there that would just make a channel for the purpose of making money, which they do. But to be able to make money, you have to have worked really, really hard, so you deserve that money.
Yeah, I feel like the people who say that will never have a YouTube channel
never
because
understand.
they don't understand the actual work it goes into to run one YouTube channel,
Yeah.
let alone 2.
So by you having a second one, which you haven't uploaded regularly on yet, but you've got an upload.
I just put a video
there.
up. I've got a second one, but I have to
Yeah.
get back into that. I've been, again, too busy.
Yes, but that second channel is more because we both, I think, love the process of growing the channel, and will continue to love the process of growing the YouTube channel.
The main channel, yeah.
And the best part about it is you can sit here at 700K and people will think you've got it made.
Wow, it's so
PS,
different.
Still not earning more money than Josie was earning in a job in Australia, and that was an entry-level job,
Yeah.
right? So still not.
So I haven't got it made, basically.
No, haven't got it made. But at 700K, we do feel significantly further ahead than we were at 70K.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. With
And-
knowledge and things and...
And in another 1 million or 1.5 million, we'll still feel like we haven't made it,
Yeah.
but still we enjoying the growth. So we enjoy the growth. But there's something sort of special about the community and the closeness you get from a small channel.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think
Yeah, I miss that sometimes.
the second channel, you can explain more in detail for yourself, but for me, when we spoke about it, it was a little bit of like an opportunity to not have to make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And just make videos that like you did when you first started, which are kind of little diary entries for people who just want to see that side of your life.
Exactly. I feel like, yeah, it's hard to describe. Like, it's like having another space where I can just talk to you guys. Like, and you can't really do that. Well, you can, but it's hard.
No,
like,
you can't.
You
You
can't.
can't if you the way that YouTube works in 2023 in 2015, which is where most people's YouTube brains are.
Yeah, then
that
yes.
you could do that. You could just film anything, and your subscribers who would subscribe to you would get served your videos. For reference, guys, Josie has 700,000 subscribers. She put a video up today. Maybe 20,000 of those subscribers to 40,000 of those subscribers have been shown that video so far, because that's
or
how
less.
all less. That's how modern YouTube works.
Subscribers almost don't matter.
Subscribers don't matter
yeah.
anymore. It's all algorithm based on what you've been watching recently, and you can open your YouTube homepage now. And many of you listening who may have been into Josie's content when she was in Southeast Asia but didn't watch the India series because
Probably not even your homepage
you
anymore.
even though you're subscribed, Josie's videos won't show up until she comes back to this region because they're the videos you watch.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think. So YouTube's not really like that. So you can't just say, hi, here I am doing my thing, because travel YouTube's not going to let that happen anymore.
Yes. So this second channel is more of a like hanging out with you guys. It's casual. It's
Yeah.
chill. You're going to come get coffees with me. I'm going to talk to you about more behind the scenes things, maybe things that aren't that interesting to the majority of people on my main channel. Like, it's just basically a place where we can chill and hang out, and I can just do more of like things I do day to day.
And not to like give the strategy book away too much, but you don't want to make content anymore that is like going to the night market with $10.
Well, some people do, but
You don't.
oh, I don't. No.
You don't.
Yeah.
And on your main channel, you've been loving, for you guys, if you haven't watched the India series, my suggestions would be to watch the India that Western media doesn't show you, the Indian village video, to watch the Munna video, and to watch... So the Munna video won't be titled that. It'll be titled, I can't believe India looks like this. Yeah.
We'll link them down below, especially if
And
you're
the
on
Assam
YouTube.
video, which is a kind of what you're more into. You're more into like having these local experiences and sharing those local experiences. But that means that, I mean, from the start, you love street food, but making the street food videos has never been like your favorite thing. You've always preferred the language and the speaking to
chatting to
people,
people,
and the community. So now this second channel means that you can pick up a camera, and when we go out to the night market for dinner, you can take them with you, and it won't matter what country you're in. That's the backdrop of going and getting dinner or going out for lunch.
I feel like that channel will be where
They're
like
vlogs.
my homies are.
They're vlogs
You
as
know?
opposed to videos.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
But that started. Now you have a channel as well
Yeah, I do.
that you've started.
Don't expect anything special.
Don't say that.
Well, no, I'm not. So this isn't my focus, not my job, and I don't expect anyone to go and subscribe, and I don't expect anybody to watch. Where it comes from is, you guys may or may not know. I always think of like, how much do people know about us?
You probably nothing because they probably see me mostly on my videos.
Yeah,
and-
but I feel like I talk about it a lot. I feel like I'm a bit of an open book when I do get to talk.
yeah, but not often. I don't
Yeah,
think.
I
Because
traveled.
it's not a couple channel. That's why everyone's like, "Why don't you show more of Michael?"
Well,
and it's because
yeah.
we are. It is confusing if you have one person and then it's like it's a couple's channel. It's a bit strange, but you have your own. So if you want to go follow Michael down in the description bar as well.
Well, yeah, I traveled a lot before Josie, before we met, and I had at one point tried to pick up a camera. I did pick up a camera. I walked around Kuala Lumpur and made a vlog in like 2015.
Oh, release the video.
No, I don't have the SD card
No.
anymore. And I was just like, this is pretty good being here.
Aw.
But what happened was, little 25-year-old me doing that was, I'm not outgoing in the way you are. I'm not gonna float around with no fear of what people think of me and all those sorts of things. That's just the type of person I am. I'm a bit more, I'd say you're introverted as well, which is something different.
I'm an
You're
introverted
an outgoing.
extrovert.
No, you're an outgoing introvert, because introverts get their energy from being alone, which is totally you.
Yeah, that is me. Yeah.
Extroverts get their energy from being with other people, which is totally not
That's
you.
not
You get
me,
drained
yeah.
after a day out.
Yeah, I don't want to be
You're
around
just
people.
you're just outgoing, whereas I'm not. I'm not as outgoing,
No, you're not.
and you have no shame, and I mean that in a nice way.
Yeah, I don't care.
Whereas I definitely am like, I'm not gonna walk up to this person and say hello to them. For the record, being around you has shown me that 90% of people don't care if you walk up to them with a camera.
Oh, yeah.
But I still can't reconcile that in my brain.
Everyone's different. You're fine.
Yeah, so no, I mean, like, I still can't reconcile. I still feel like I'm intruding on someone if I walk up to them with a camera. Still can't do it. So my channel is more just me trying to do something I've always wanted to do, which is, I wish that I had gone ahead with vlogging when I was younger, not so that it could have been my job, but so that I could have looked back on the cool places that I'd been and had those memories. So while I'm traveling the world, I may as well make some videos, and if people like a considerably more laid-back style and a considerably more nerdy style, because I'll talk about the things I know about the cities.
Knowledgeable, I would say.
Yeah, but some people like that. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
for example,
It's
I
not
haven't
really nerdy.
edited it yet, but there's a Kolkata video where I think I spend about 50% of the time talking about the cultural impact of the local football club.
But for me, that's not for me.
No, as you wouldn't watch it, but there are people out there that probably would be interested to know how this football club essentially started the charge in Kolkata in West Bengal for independence from the British. That's kind of what we will do. We will dive more into the cultural
Look how
side of
happy
things.
you are talking about that. You're smiling.
I just have to figure out. I was very extroverted that day. I walked
did
around
well.
like just chatting shit. But then I found later we went to Nepal,
Yeah.
and I was very introverted and I
Yeah,
couldn't
you
get
were.
through the vlogging. I couldn't do it. I was like trying to hide and vlog in by myself. So it's also a process in being more outgoing, I think.
So we'll tell them where we've been as well, I think.
Yeah.
All of them?
Let's
Yeah,
just
we have
go.
to tell them. No, we have to tell them where we are now.
Let's
So
work-
how do we get here?
Let's work backwards.
No, let's start. No. After India, 'cause
Okay.
we just talked about India. So after India, we left. We actually almost breached our visa, which we didn't do on purpose. We
But
left
12 hours.
12
We
hours.
left 12 hours before our visa was in breach, without knowing it was in breach until the guy at the counter said, Oh, they've been here 90 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we weren't actually even meant to go home. I had an eye infection. We were meant to
We
keep
were going to
going.
see more of the Northeast.
We were meant to go in Northeast. We would have overstayed our visa, but we didn't. If you're the
It's only like $4 a day, and they don't get you in trouble for it.
okay, there you go. Don't breach your visa. Though we're not promoting it.
Yeah.
But we went from there to Bangladesh, and that's the videos that just started on my channel now. So
And
we're in
ironically,
Bangladesh.
finding the same issues we were finding the last time we podcasted with changing countries and the
getting
videos
low
not being
views.
as successful, which is ties into what I told you guys before. Josie now has 600,000 or 500,000 more subscribers from India who.
Well, not just
80%
from India.
Well, of
from
course.
being in
Okay,
India.
being in-
They're from different countries. Some
I'd
of them,
probably
but-
say there are 300,000 people on there from India right now
Yeah.
who don't care about any other content than their own country.
yeah.
And what that means is when they've been watching all of your content, you've been getting hundreds of thousands of views, YouTube goes, well, here's Josie's next video. We have no idea what it's about because we're a robot. Let's show it to the person that watched Josie's last 10 videos. And that person from India goes, oh, Bangladesh.
I don't wanna see
I don't
that."
give a shit. Watch something else. And then the click-through rate or the percentage of people who actually click on the video is so low that YouTube's algorithm has no other thought than, well, this video must be terrible.
Yeah, and then doesn't show it to the next group of people
Well,
after
any
that.
creator that can successfully figure out this problem, because in our group
Let
we've
me
asked
know.
this question and everyone has the same issue.
Everyone's struggling in travel, yeah.
Changing
that's what it
countries
does.
is tough. You have to change, and then
Well, let's put it this way. It's almost as if you're watching.
start again.
You love a beauty YouTuber, right? This
Yeah.
is what I used to watch. So you love a beauty YouTuber. You
Yeah.
watch all of her videos, and then all of a sudden she turns to carpentry and starts making carpentry videos. Would I watch? No.
totally.
So as a travel YouTube creator, that's what you're dealing with.
However, if you had watched this creator for long enough and developed an affinity with them, you might want to see them try carpentry, and that is about 20% of the viewers that you pick up as you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because right now we're sitting here getting frustrated about the views in Bangladesh, but we're sitting here and the video's been up for like 4 hours and it's on like 16, 17,000 views after 4 hours. And we used to sit here and say, as long as the video is at 1,000 views per hour, it should do okay.
But you have to also subscribe, factor in growth to that, because
That's my point, right? Like that's my entire point. Like right now,
we should be doing better than before.
exactly. So you do collect people. You have collected Indian subscribers and people who like India content who are going to watch other countries as well.
Yeah.
So you will pick up people along the way, and that's the difference. If this is the content I watch. About to nerd out here. If I'm a Rocket League YouTuber,
Oh, here we go.
and I make which is a video game by the way, and I make videos about that video game, and I only ever make videos about that video game, I don't have to really innovate or do anything because the people are expecting to see what they want to see.
Yeah.
Now, there are people who might have started out as like, I'll use Max Tuning as a good example because I still watch him.
He's a fitness.
He was a
influencer,
fitness
guys.
YouTuber
Yeah.
who then opened a business, and then now he's kind of more about his
Entrepreneurship.
more about his lifestyle now. But it
Business and
started
life,
out
yeah,
as
you're right.
fitness, and because I developed that affinity with him over time, watching his content, I don't really care what he does now.
You watch
if
him
I'll
for
watch
him.
his content. And travel, he made the decision to change his content to business and then change his content to show more of his life. In travel, you're forced to change every country you change.
Yeah.
You don't get the choice.
Yeah.
You don't get this big disclaimer on your Bangladesh video that says, hey, people from India, you'll probably still really like this if you watch it. You don't get that.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't stay long enough in a country to build that affinity. You
Yeah.
just stayed 4 months worth of content in India and still the same problem you were having after 1 month in another country.
So
There's just more of them.
as we were flying from India to Bangladesh, we didn't realize that we had to book our onward ticket.
Oh, yeah.
So we only booked 5 days because we panicked and just bought a ticket on the
And
spot.
we also spent longer in India than we thought.
Way
and we
longer,
did have
yeah.
to sacrifice one country, and I'm sorry to any Bangladeshi viewers, but the 4 countries we went to before we went to another one in between, but it doesn't count in this scheme of things. The 4 countries in that region that we were going to are India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. And out of those 4 countries, Bangladesh is the one that we chose to spend less time in.
Yeah.
Because
I
I think
personally wanted to see Sri Lanka. That was my place, and you personally wanted to see
Nepal.
Nepal. So Bangladesh just
and
had
we still
to be.
didn't spend enough time
No, in either.
in any of the
Yeah.
countries we went to, except maybe India. I feel like it was time to get out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Not because there wasn't more to see, not because we don't have more to see.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go back and see more in the future. It was just too much of the same. I needed some change.
So we got to Bangladesh, we did that, and then we were tired from traveling India, first of all.
Wrecked.
Absolutely wrecked, personally and professionally. Like, we were just tired as. And then from there, we went to Nepal. We spent a couple of weeks in Nepal, but we only went to Kathmandu and Pokhara.
Yeah.
So we did a couple of weeks
We
there.
learned a lot about ourselves in Nepal, I think.
Why?
The
What do you
main
mean?
things to do in Nepal involve trekking and long walks.
Oh, yeah, which I don't like either of.
But I think even the ones, like when you're in Nepal, I think even though you hate trekking, we're obviously not going to be Everest Base Camp people.
I'm just not that person. I'm not
there-
that girly.
But there are climbs and walks you can do that are beautiful that get you within touching distance of the ranges that take 4 hours and you stop every 45 minutes to be
Yeah.
in a little village. Totally doable. No dramas at all.
I mean, maybe. I've never been a walking girl.
But
Ever. Even when I was fit.
especially right now, we're never even going to attempt it because we're unfit.
Well, obviously, yes.
That's the
but
main thing stopping us.
but-
I could have convinced you to do it.
No, listen to me. If it was my body from wherever it was 2 years ago when I was in the gym, and you were like, hey, we're in Nepal, let's go for a hike or a walk, I would say no. I don't want to walk. Like, I would
You're
probably
in
do it for the
Nepal.
experience.
Yes.
I know, I get it.
It's not like I'm saying, hey, we're in Chiang Mai, let's walk 6 kilometers to this market.
It's just not something I enjoy doing personally.
Yeah, but in Nepal, with the chance of being in the actual Himalayas,
Yeah,
it's probably
you're
something you'd put aside for that singular experience. That's my
But
point.
I'm not saying I would
I'm not
enjoy
a
it.
climber either. I'm not a walker or a hiker either. And I was a person who would run 40 plus kilometers a week back in the day. Even then, I didn't do it unless there was a purpose to it, like I was training for something, right? But
yeah.
you're in Nepal. I want to see
get
some
it.
yaks.
Yeah, I
I
do
want
wanna
to see
see a
some
yak.
villages. I want to do all that stuff.
I get it, me too, but I'm not. I just wouldn't choose to hike or walk anywhere.
Anywhere except Nepal or Switzerland or something.
Anyway, so I do want to do it one day. So I'm hoping that we can kind of figure the travel
My point is
situation
that
out.
we learnt climbing that World Peace Pagoda. Or I vomited.
Yeah, you did. I was fine
You
with
know
that,
what?
but anything else longer, I would be
vomited
like.
because I drank too much water because I was so worried.
I drank
about...
a whole milky coffee beforehand.
No, when I threw it up, sorry for the too much information, it was like all liquid. It was water. I'd like basically drank 1.5 liters of water in about 10, 15 minutes because I was so like sweaty and just exhausted. I thought the cool water would cool me down and make me feel better because I was already starting to feel a little bit iffy and recipe for disaster. Anyway, what I learned was...
No one knows what you're talking about. So we were in Nepal and we went to climb a pagoda, which is up some stairs. It's quite high on top of a
Elevation.
mountain, basically. And
high elevation, super hot even on top of the
it's
mountain.
so hot.
And it's stairs, so it's not like you're at a gradual gradient incline.
It's just constant
It's
stairs, yeah. And steep stairs.
Steep stairs.
But yeah, you had some trouble getting to the top. It wasn't easy, but I wouldn't say it was the hardest thing. It was
You know
just
what?
a hot day as well.
It wasn't the hardest thing that I've even done recently.
Yeah.
I've done harder things recently, like with things with like I reckon Dose Tep's harder than that. I reckon
Yeah,
that
dose tap.
it just happened to be recipe for disaster that day. I already wasn't feeling well because we'd been sick and I could barely breathe anyway.
Yeah. We were sick in
both,
Nepal, weren't we?
We both got the flu in Nepal.
Yeah, we had a
I
few
was just coming
videos.
off it.
We had a few videos planned to do, and we were just too sick. We took a few days off, and then obviously we didn't even have that long time in the country. So it just
That's kind of what we learned. We know that India we spent a lot of time in, but sometimes 2 weeks is enough in some countries. Like Cambodia, we only spent 2.5 weeks.
yeah.
And then Laos, we only spent 2 weeks. Vietnam, we only spent 3.5 weeks. And did
Yeah.
all of that in. So we thought Nepal, 2 weeks, plenty of time. But you know what? It's not that. Nepal, you really need to go to if you want to see the mountains and climb.
And I do
You're
want to
missing
go
out on it.
Yeah, and I do want to go to more places than just the 2 places we went to. And you need more time to do that.
I
But
think we grew as travelers in India, and the whole like fast in and out of the country thing kind of, we know it's not for us.
oh yeah, especially I mean it's given by the fact that we couldn't keep up all of the podcast and everything because we're just too busy. But after Nepal, we went to Sri Lanka, which is the one I was looking forward to
Which
the
is
most.
incredible.
Honestly, we're going to talk. We have this plan to sort of do like a recap of the countries as they're coming out like on the channel,
Yeah.
and we've been to them on the podcast. But I will say now, I'll give you a sneak peek. Sri Lanka was an underrated / surprising. It was just a highlight for me.
For me, Sri Lanka felt like the best parts of the Indian subcontinent
Yeah,
and the best parts of Southeast Asia
mixed together.
put together in one country. So Southeast Asians are beautiful people. Don't let me take this away from them. But there's a different type of innocent friendliness in the
Yeah.
Indian subcontinent where it's just a different type of hospitality. I often find that in Southeast Asia, everyone's really friendly, but they've seen millions of tourists before.
Yeah.
There's no real, I want to learn about you and you want to learn about me.
Yes.
There's just like, you're in my city, that's cool, I like you.
Yeah.
Like, great, we can be friends because I've been friends with plenty of foreigners before. Like, whereas, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's like an untouched place for foreigners. I mean the innocence that these people in Sri Lanka have of like, holy shit, I want to learn about you.
Yeah.
And you want to learn about me. And we can have this cool little connection. Sri Lanka gives you that innocence, which is in India, you definitely get that. Everyone comes up to you and wants a photo, wants to ask where you're from, wants to know your name because they want to learn about you, right? You have that in Sri Lanka. Combine that with the Southeast Asian laid-back lifestyle. Nothing's
Chill,
too serious.
beachy,
whatever.
relaxing. It
Mat
was
Rai,
great.
as they say in Thailand. There's definitely like Sri Lanka is, I will have to say, even though we haven't wrapped up the destinations we're going to in 2023, I don't think anyone's going to top Sri Lanka in terms of like how good I felt being
Okay,
there.
don't give too much away. We're gonna do like a wrap up thing, but like
Well, that's cool. I think,
Yeah.
in the future, the next episode after this will be our wrap up of India, what we thought,
yeah,
realistic, maybe some Q&A, and then we'll probably start to do that for every country so you guys
Yeah.
can get kind of the behind the scenes. And when I say what we really think about a country, not because we're not being real in the vlogs,
yeah,
but mainly because this is a place to kind of be a bit more
chatty.
adult about what we think of things without worrying too much about offending people. And not that we...
I mean, I don't care if I offend someone anyway.
Yeah, but you're not like... There's no place in a YouTube video sometimes to say the things you want to say.
To sit down and be like, no, you're wrong and this is why. Like during a video, it sometimes isn't. Yeah.
You're still producing a happy video that's entertaining.
Well, kinda. If I'm not happy with something, I say something.
Of course, but you get what I mean. Like, you can't make a YouTube video in this...
If you're like, this sucks and this is why
And
I
we don't
hate
want
this.
to.
This happened. Yeah, it is a bit different.
Because you don't really... You often think of these things upon reflection, not in the moment when you're filming.
That's a thing. It is sometimes
Our days
what
out are
happens.
great.
Yeah, it is sometimes what happens after. Like if we filmed today and everything went great or whatever or something, then something happens afterwards and you're like, oh, I didn't get to say that in the video,
Yeah.
or I didn't get to feel that way.
Yeah.
Things happen
or I
after.
didn't realize that this happened.
Where there's a big thing about India, which I think it happened to me, and that's my experience from that. But again, that'll be kind of more into the Indian video. But yeah, it's been
Toxic online culture.
it's been pretty crazy the whole journey. And how many countries we've visited in such a short time as well. Because after Sri Lanka, we went to Malaysia.
Yeah.
We had to fly in somewhere because we knew we needed a break. It got
We
to
did
kind of
look-
halfway through India where we were like, we can't keep traveling, editing, uploading,
hell no.
filming. It just got too much. So we were like, okay, let's go through these countries, film, and then go to some place, i.e. Thailand, where we are right now, to sit and edit because it was just too much for us. So we flew through Malaysia.
What people listening... I never know the level of understanding you have on YouTube because some of you will be YouTubers and some of you will be viewers and some of you will be neither and you just stumbled across this podcast thinking it was about aviation or something. I don't know. But basically, the layover. But basically, every YouTuber that you watch in the travel niche who travels regularly will have a different way of collecting that content and then editing it. And I mean that in the sense that some will do what we've been doing, which is kind of travel somewhere and then assign yourself 2 days off to edit, upload, go through that footage, have a little bit of a rest, and when I say rest, that means sitting down with a coffee working as opposed to laying in bed or anything like that. But then there are also some that will go out and do a massive production and film, 5 videos in 5 days and never leave the capital city and then move on to the next one. There are people who upload once a week, which makes their life significantly easier in terms of their workflow. Especially can't wrap my head around couples channels that upload once a week. Like I help you with planning, ideas, strategy, and
you come
filming.
out and film with me.
and you do everything else by yourself in terms of the editing, putting the video together, making the everything physically, building something and making something is you, right? I help you with the business stuff, like, back end,
Yeah.
making groups, making brand decisions, those sorts of things. But with two people and their only focus full time is to make this YouTube channel,
Yeah.
once a week blows my mind. It must be the sweet life.
Yeah.
It must be awesome.
You're legit.
Like, especially like
Imagine if I could get halfway through a video editing
Yeah.
and be like, here, you finish it off.
yeah.
That would be great. I'd have so much more free time.
But in saying that, again, I don't know anything about what people are doing behind the scenes, and all the YouTubers that I'm putting into this category in this basket right now might have other jobs and other things they do as well.
And some of them we know we don't.
Some of
Some
them
of them
we know don't.
they've literally publicly said that they're quitting them and they're only doing YouTube, and then nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Anyway, shade, but
There are
just
some
saying.
that we seriously just don't know. So it's not ripping all couples channels, because some people watching probably just think I float around and follow Josie and live off her YouTube money. Like, it would look like that from
It's
the
the opposite
outside.
way. I'm living off your money.
It would look like that from the outside, right? So I can't tie everyone with some brush, but there are people like that. But my point is, there are some YouTubers out there that will do that. There are some that will go to a country, spend a week in the capital city, film 7 videos, and then pretend they've been there for 2 months and
Yeah.
write back to comments as if like, oh, thanks for your suggestion. I might go there tomorrow. And they're like 5 countries in the future.
Yeah.
There are some that will record. We know one in particular that had they were like 9 months ahead at one point,
Oh yeah, it was
which is
crazy.
insane. And they were also saying, great suggestion.
It's like you're not there.
You were there
It's not like you're going to the market
you were
tomorrow.
there
Like
3
you're
seasons ago.
Yeah.
But my main point is, like, everyone will
Summer
do it
now.
differently, and we haven't found our groove yet.
No.
Because
I
you
prefer-
upload too much.
Yes. Yeah. I was gonna say I prefer being where I am, where my videos are, so that when people say, hey, go check out this place, I can be like, yeah, okay, we might add it to the
Yes.
trip. I prefer that.
But there are benefits to not doing that as well.
But I don't like having to work 24/7 to travel, film, edit, upload. So it is nicer to sit
a
here in
balancing act.
Thailand, edit my videos in a bit more of a relaxed environment without having to worry about catching a plane tomorrow or a car or this and editing in the airport.
Just
Anyway,
before I forget, I want to shout out One Pack Wanderers. We do know how their editing works because they do put their Q&A up, and we do watch their Q&A, so we know. I think they upload every other day or every couple of
I think a bit less lately, but
bit
yeah,
less lately.
they're
But
pretty
they,
consistent.
but they film and then they go home and edit and upload that night or the next day. They're going as they go. So as travelers, totally understand how 2 people that would be tough to do.
Yes.
Because you're uploading. If you're uploading more than once a week, okay, sweet. You're completely free from all criticism. But once a week is quite easy in comparison. You're essentially doubling your workload immediately.
Yeah.
You're halving your workload. So where I is Josie dropped to once a week towards the end of the India content, just because it was too hard for us to travel the way we were traveling. We wanted to make more videos, and I think what we've kind of landed on now is about 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks of filming, and then stop for a month and edit is the way to go.
Yeah.
So you're about 1 to 2 months ahead of your content at any given time, which is a good amount. It means, unfortunately, you miss out on the awesome local recommendations that you get in comments.
In this point in time, yeah.
But it also gives you time to make better content, because, like, for example, there are good videos that you made recently that both I and you could have made better if you had another 2 days to edit them, and the mental bandwidth from not being burnt out and stressed to edit them.
I think what we're just kind of getting at is that it's not easy to be a content creator. Like, I've had this in my head lately. I've been putting it on my Instagram a bit too. And it's kind of like, before I did this as a full-time job, I feel like you do look at like YouTubers and you're like, why don't you just put up a video tomorrow? And it just doesn't work like that. Like, there's so much more work to it that you just don't even understand. Like, yeah, you see the reels of us living at the beach or staying by the beach. Yes, you see like our travel videos in beautiful Nepal, but I'm 90% of the time behind a computer screen working. Yeah, just a little side note.
If I work in a job and the computer system crashes, nothing really changes.
Yeah.
They figure out the computer system, and I just go home for the day, or I work on paper. If your computer crashes,
Oh, life's over.
700,000 people don't see a video for 2 weeks.
Speaking of, I had a lot of issues lately, which also contributed to,
This is my point.
putting off views.
External things that happen that you can't control
directly
affect the product that comes out.
Yeah. Like my music licensing company that I use, it was just, they told me that the ticket didn't get seen, or it was put into like a helped item or something like that. And what actually happened, that they say that happened. And they weren't getting to my, they weren't replying to me when I was having issues with the copyright and music licensing for the music I use on my channel with their website. It was just it's a whole ordeal really, but basically I wasn't helped, and they didn't get to actually help me for about a month. So for a month, I couldn't use licensed music. Luckily, I had a backup. I use Epidemic Sounds as well. So I had like backups of songs to use and things, but really they're not the songs I like. And I do like them, but they are not the songs I had been using. So it kind of put it was delaying the videos as well. So there's just a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. And someone was like, upload a video. And I was like, I'm waiting for my copyright to clear. Like, I can't post a video I'm going to get copyrighted on.
The comments you get that are like, I love your content so much. I love how, like, I really enjoy it. I watched the whole thing the whole way through. Please upload every day. And you're like, no, you enjoyed it and watched it the whole way through because I don't upload every day because I spend time on the video beyond just cutting up some GoPro clips. Like, and I say this is not that my channel's big or it matters, but I just walked around and filmed a GoPro and I had a 30-minute video and it took me an hour to edit it.
Mm. Well, some of my videos when I do that style, it doesn't take as long, but I don't normally do that type of content, which takes longer to produce.
My point is people just sort of don't, they don't realize that even the jump between a GoPro creator that uploads every 2 days and someone who's making, and again, people might come back and say, well, you threw shade at people uploading once a week. Look, the people I'm talking about don't make any better videos than people that are uploading twice a week. But if you're like, who's a creator that makes Indigo Traveler? He's a good option. His videos aren't particularly well edited, but he has to go to like the far flung corners of the earth to make it happen.
Yes.
And he's even a big creator like Kara and Nate, right? There you go. They don't edit their own videos anymore. They could probably turn around 2 a week if they wanted to. But if they were editing their own videos, that would take 3 days to edit, 4 days to edit.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, there's just a difference. Like, your average run-of-the-mill video takes you about 1 to 2 days to edit. Your GoPro ones take you about 2 to 4 hours to edit.
Yeah. We just wanted, it's
not a complaining thing. It's more a peek behind the curtain thing.
That's the thing, and that's what the podcast is. We haven't had enough episodes to kind of give you guys a taste of what it is like.
Like at the end of the day, it's not complaining about the workload. The workload's huge, but you choose to take the workload on.
I said this in my Instagram.
Saying that, there are people who have bigger workloads than us. Like, imagine being like a nurse. Like, imagine being like a first responder.
It's different types of work, right?
Totally
Like,
it is.
And this is the thing, you can't, it's just, it's hard. You can't sit there and say, I have life harder than someone else, I think. I think everyone has different challenges in their own way and their own workspace and things like that.
Yep,
so
totally agree.
But yeah, it's been hard. This is just kind of like an update episode to kick off, I guess, season 2, even though we only did 2 episodes in season 1.
No, it's still season 1.
It's still season 1?
The first 2 were pilots. We just got picked up by Netflix.
Yeah, well, I mean, not Netflix.
What's a
Hublot.
budget? What's a budget one?
Oh no, that's not
Hulu.
Hulu, that's the one. I said Hublot.
Hublot. Hulu's picked this up. Yeah.
So yeah.
Vimeo.
What?
Vimeo is like the cheap ass YouTube.
But yeah, it's been a ride over the last couple of months with negative comments just skyrocketing and dealing with that too. And
well, I think kind of the last podcast you did, I think we spoke a little bit about the negativity, and
I think we did. I think we read out someone's comment or something.
Did come across a little bit like whingy. You still feel the way you feel when you get those, but I must say, India provided us, and we'll talk about this more in the wrap up. I just want to say this quickly now, so people don't underestimate what you're saying and think you're just whinging, because I think we were so burnt out at the end of last year that we probably could have just glossed past those people, but we were so just burnt out that those people irritated us more than they should have at that point in time. But then you hit India, and you have a gigantic population, of
massive.
which a lot are incredibly nationalist and take Josie made probably 300 videos if you include shorts.
Oh, easily.
And Josie, she's genuine. 95% of the feedback was positive. But you just...
Maybe.
Well, of the food.
From me to the food.
And then you
yeah.
And then you call it a train, which is public transport, where they give you free food as part of your first class ticket, and you didn't like one of the items of the food.
Well, to be honest, I didn't like any of the food. I said that.
But it's train food. Like, I hate food on the plane as well. If you
exactly.
if you tell me that Qantas's plane food is bad, I'm not going
You're going to be like, yeah, true.
I'm not going to turn around to you and say, that's the national carrier of my country. You must hate my country and be a disgusting, colonizing, whatever. This is what the type of stuff you get. So
yeah,
it was... Then multiply that by 100 million people watching you a week.
That's the thing.
And any misstep that you make is jumped on by people who... And this is not a dissemination, or it's not me dropping down Indians. This is just the truth, and I'm gonna say the truth. There is a problem with undereducation in India, and it comes from people at a young age having to make a decision between education and work.
Yeah.
Because of the scenario there. So you have a lot of people who haven't been exposed to the rest of the world, who don't know how to articulate how they feel very well, who've only ever experienced their own culture and haven't experienced other cultures, and the Indian culture isn't necessarily be nice to each other first.
Well, we know that because if I say thank you or hello to someone, they're like, we don't say that to people.
They say don't say thank you to somebody.
Yeah. And we saw that there. A lot of people were yelling at each other.
But that is their culture, and it is not my place to judge.
Yeah.
But you put that all together with the last couple of years, cheap SIM cards and internet, and you're giving access to people who may not be tolerant about the rest of the world in the palm of their hand, and they see someone who is white, they've never...
I don't like using skin
Sorry,
colours.
they've seen somebody... I know you don't, my bad. I'm just riffing. They see someone... who...
With my skin complexion. I don't like saying colours for people.
You're right. They've seen someone who their whole life, their education that they did get was that someone who looks like Josie is the reason that I'm in the situation I'm in because British people did X, Y, Z. And they take that out on you because you said you didn't like train food. Like, it's different if you went to India and you were like... I hate this place. It sucks. It's horrible. Everyone here is so terrible and rude and mean. And
I mean, you're allowed to have that opinion if that was your experience.
But if you say that and then they come back to you, then okay, fair enough.
You weren't respectful.
You weren't respectful.
Yeah.
But all you literally did was say you didn't like the taste of train food, and it results.
But you know what? I didn't even say that. I said it wasn't my favorite.
It wasn't my favorite. Was your words?
I said I didn't. I think I said it wasn't my favorite, and then I spoke about the food again. I was like, it wasn't that great or something. It was very respectful,
and it doesn't result in 4 or 5 people getting angry at you.
Yeah,
it results in
thousands.
And
this is a thing, right? Like
constantly. Sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. Thousands of people not just saying I didn't like your opinion, but calling you.
Saying I don't like you.
but calling you, like someone today said that they hope that you rot.
Yeah, I know.
And then someone today called you a pig slut.
Yeah.
Sorry for the words. Like think about that because you say you don't like something.
Literally, that's it. So I think when you go from 100,000 or 150,000 subscribers to 700,000, you expect there to be a higher percentage of negative comments. You expect that.
But it's the type of them.
But it's the type of comments. They not only went the volume of negative comments, it was the volume of vileness that came with the comments in that particular country.
I don't like you and your content to you as a human being.
Yes.
I would spit on you.
Yes.
If I saw you.
I think,
which is horrible to read.
Yeah.
Once, let alone read. I'm going to legitimately say it 400 times a day.
Okay, so yes, but
it's true.
It is true, but moving on.
Yeah, well, no, that's more just that point. Anyway, moving on.
I feel like there's like over that period, the last little bit, the subscribers have obviously gone up, but I feel like it was hard, like you said in the beginning, to scale it and to have, little to no more brand interest and things.
Sorry I got, to the people listening, that I got a bit passionate there. It's a tough position to be in when someone that you care about gets spoken to that way for doing nothing wrong a lot. So that's why
I didn't stop you because of that. I stopped you because I want to talk about it in the next episode.
I'm just feeling like if the viewers see they're being like, well, Michael, chill out. Imagine that if you had access to people telling your loved one to basically kill themselves and that they're a
You
dog.
can't say that.
What?
You can't say that.
Okay.
It gets like flagged and stuff. You can't say those words. You have to say like unalived.
Okay. Well, if you heard a beep, I said unalived. People telling Josie, telling the person that you love and care about to do vile things that will end their life. You constantly every day, and you have to read that and be subject to it. It does make you quite passionate and want to defend that person. So that's why I got that passionate. Sorry if that bothers you, but I'll always stick up for Josie.
Thank you. I didn't say that for that. I just meant like if someone's interested in the topic, there'll be an episode coming up. So you don't have to listen.
We will spill the chai.
You don't have to. You don't have to listen to it now. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
but
fair.
from here on in, hopefully we can. Well, we have a little bit of time now to get into a more consistent routine with uploads and things. Like this was just kind of like an update video podcast, and we have a lot more in the future coming up and things like that. But yeah, our travel plans currently are we did a few videos in Malaysia, like I said, and then we got here to Thailand in Chiang Mai.
Some cool videos in Malaysia, which sorry, before you brush over it, we were there for your birthday.
Oh yeah, my birthday, I forgot. I'm only forgetting because now I'm too old and I don't want to remember my birthday anymore.
An awesome being back in Southeast Asia, the week in Kuala Lumpur was just...
It was great.
It was just magic.
It was great.
As I said, the people in the India subcontinent part of the world are absolutely wonderful, except the commenters.
Most, yeah.
the offline people. But there's just this feeling about Southeast Asia when you get there that's just very like free.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. An awesome week in Kuala Lumpur. And then we went north to Lanka for your birthday where we did exactly what we do, just a brand deal for your TikTok.
Yes.
A sponsored TikTok and Instagram deal, not a YouTube one.
A gifted stay there, yeah.
A gifted stay. It wasn't paid, yeah. But it was a gifted stay in a very nice hotel and a very nice room.
And it was good. I took 2 days. I had to work on my birthday because I had to film getting there and stuff. I did a vlog on it for my main channel.
They won't be out by the time they see this. We're so far ahead.
Oh. Well, you'll see it coming up.
Yeah.
But I did that. But it was the day after that, and the day after
full days
that.
To do nothing.
I kind of had to work on my birthday. I mean, I had to film. That is work for me. But yeah, the next 2 days I got to sit and do nothing.
Yeah,
I laid in bed and watched Suits for the first time for months. Because normally we always are doing something. I'm either editing, I'm commenting, I'm making thumbnails, I'm making this, I'm making that, I'm doing TikToks, I'm doing captions, I'm doing that.
Editing, we're doing something for the business at all times, 24/7.
It was great to just have 2 days, even if it was the day after my birthday, to just relax. But yeah, so we went to Malaysia, we did that, and now we're here in Thailand.
And you went go-karting?
I thought I was going so fast. I'm still not over it.
You'll see in the video, it's very funny.
Yeah. Makes me...
Josie was going,
woo,
around the track, and like she was like fist pumping. I didn't go in the go-karts because I was worried I wouldn't fit. And then some bloke who was the same size as me was in the go-kart with Josie.
Honestly, I don't want to be rude, but like I don't know how. Those seats were so small.
His feet were so like... My main concern was that like, regardless of being this fat, as just a broad human being in general, I would worry about being able to turn the wheel between my legs. Like I don't want to go...
Oh, it was a pretty small one, but I was having trouble with the pedals because I had to wear your shoes, and they were too big for me.
Yeah, we get there, and Josie says, "Why didn't you tell me I needed to wear shoes?"
Before we left the room, I said, "Do I need to wear closed-in shoes?" And you said, "Nah, it's all good." Literally, you said that. I said, "Do I need to bring anything else, or do I need any closed shoes?" You said, "No, don't worry about it," because we'd also gone out for a cheeky little drink beforehand. I said, "Will they worry about this either?" You're like, "Nah, we won't. All good." That's what you said.
No, I said to you you shouldn't drink and go-kart, but
who
cares anyway?
I'm not talking about the drink. I'm talking about the shoes. Anyway, we get there and I had to wear closed shoes.
Yeah.
Regardless, it was a great day, a couple of days. And now we're in Thailand, so we'll have some episodes coming up. Follow the podcast if you don't already.
Not in Thailand, or maybe in Thailand. We're not sure yet.
What?
We're not sure. You mean podcast episodes?
We're doing the episodes here.
So we have a month here, and the plan for the month is
record more episodes.
Not to film. So anyone listening, getting excited about Thailand content,
oh yeah,
you probably won't get any. We do have some ideas. We don't know what we want to do. Whether we want to extend our visa here for another month, which we can do, and make some videos, or if we want to move on to the next country. If we choose that option, you won't get a Thailand video. We're literally here just to work, so you're hearing. You will on Just Josie.
I was going to say, my second channel we talked about earlier.
But I'm saying you won't get like a full-on YouTube video from Thailand if we choose to move on at the end of this month.
But at this point in time, we're so far ahead, these videos, they're not going to see where we are now for like months.
Yeah. But the point of the month is edit, rest, go to the gym,
Record podcasts.
eat better, record podcasts. We have some pretty exciting, getting to that size now where the monetary brand deals aren't really coming in at the scale you thought, but we have had a few tourism boards and hotels and things start to positively receive our advances and even reach out.
Yeah, that's
to
the
us.
thing. Yeah.
So now there's the scenario where it's like a tourism board wants to pay all expenses paid for us to come and see their country.
I mean, we've had. I just don't never like to get ahead. I can't put all my eggs in one basket.
Thailand.
Because Thailand back in the day,
that was so weird. I don't know if that was just a crazy fan or what.
I don't know. Back in the day, I got burnt.
A marketing company saying they were working for Thailand tourism, give you an entire itinerary, get to the point of
We're talking back and forth. This was a year ago.
Yeah, to the point of us getting ready to send our passport. Them saying, yes, those flight times are fine. Like, we can transport you from here to here.
We picked the itinerary. Things were like all good and then ghosted. Nothing.
But I've looked online and none of the creators I'm aware of did that. So
Maybe
I
they
wonder
cancelled
if
the thing and then
cancelled
they just didn't tell
But they
us.
just didn't write back to you.
Yeah. So I've been burnt before is what I'm saying.
We
So
got
it's
to
hard
the point of not planning. We wouldn't,
based on that. So I don't like to count my chickens before they hatch at this point.
it's
But
more
yes,
promising. There's
there are
more.
more promising like tourism boards and like opportunities like that coming forward now that I have numbers. But there's still not as many brand deals, which makes it hard because I'm relying on AdSense.
Yeah,
And
which is just views.
But
and duration of
but
views.
again, we're talking about those plates I brought up at the start. It's been hard to also focus on getting them ourselves actively
Totally.
because we've been doing everything else. So it has been a bit of a
We do
vicious
have
cycle.
a management company, but they like low-key kind of suck. Is the best way to put it.
I don't like one person on the management team, and
They're working hard, but I feel like these management companies aren't for
travel creators. This is what we said earlier.
Someone
it's
needs
so
to make
different.
that.
It's so different.
If
different.
you're listening out here and you're a smaller travel creator and you have experience dealing with brands and like you want to find a way to make money, like a business, maybe you don't want to make travel creation your thing, but you have experience and you want to work on the business side, somebody needs to start an agency that knows how to explain to brands what percentage of viewers
different.
means. So to give you a rundown, actually this is kind of some goss. We can give them now. It's interesting because we probably won't talk about this in a bigger episode. Josie's signed with a management company who not signed, like there's an inbox and if people inquire, they handle it and then they take a percentage of the fee. They can negotiate for you. You don't have to worry about it. However, we can reach out to people and do things on our own,
It's not exclusivity,
independent of them. Now, we very quickly worked out that this company has about 80, 90 creators on its books and 89 of them are similar, and one of them is a travel creator, which is Josie.
Me.
And the 89 they have are pretty much all gaming or like news or essentially stuff where you might have 50,000 to 100,000 subscribers and get 30,000 to 80,000 views a video, but your audience is predominantly the same people all the time and they're all from America.
Yeah.
And they don't...
It's different. Like we said, it's different being a travel creator. Rules are different. You have to present things differently.
This is the bit that's going to be mind-boggling to them because it's mind-boggling to me. And I'm assuming everyone listening is an intelligent person that can understand this, right?
You'd hope so.
This company, we inquired as to, hey, how come people in our niche with significantly less viewers, subscribers, everything, seem to have every second video be sponsored? And they said it's because your American percentage of viewers isn't high enough. And we said, well, these people are going to be in this very similar boat to us because they're doing the same thing as us. And they said, yes, but no brand will even look at you unless you have XYZ amount of American or percentage of American viewers. And looking at you at this time, for example, they were like, you have a high percentage of Indian viewers. And we were like, yes, the videos are literally going viral in India. However, with 100 million views a month, let's just do some quick math here. whatever. I'll just do it in my head. 100 million views a month. Even if 3% to 5% of those people are American, that is significantly more than these creators.
Yeah, isn't that like hundreds of thousands of
Americans that are
Americans?
getting 1 million views a month? It's like...
It's probably the same amount of actual people.
No, it's more. Think about this.
If
you're
more,
getting 1 million views a month and you have 50% Americans, that's 500,000 Americans a month.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
If you have 100 million views a month...
We had more than that,
and you have 3 to 5%, you have 3 to 5 million Americans.
But it doesn't matter because it's not the average percentage.
So they can't... This management group can't seem to figure out that, hey, we might have to change our negotiation, the way we do things here, and tell this brand, Josie doesn't want a deal based on how many views she gets because we know those views aren't as important to you, but she gets 10 times the viewers from America that the people that you are sponsoring are getting. So why don't we work on a deal? Why don't you give her 10 times what you give them if that's the numbers that she's getting? At one point we were saying, fuck it, give us fucking the same amount of money, as them, because we would take anything, and they couldn't wrap their heads around that. And that's when we realised they're not negotiating, it's batched.
Yes.
A VPN company comes and says, how many creators have you got that have 60% American viewers?
We have X many.
Okay, we have this many people. We'll sign up with them. There's no negotiating happening here. No. They're literally just middlemen.
And the thing is as well is that it's like, okay, so for me, being an Australian, I'm in Australia.
Yeah.
Why don't Australians matter? Why don't Australians matter?
Yeah.
Why don't UK people matter? If you're talking about
we're not a good fit for them.
If you're talking about Western viewers, why don't all these other... We're looking in my...
You're talking about Western viewers, you're getting 10 million Western viewers a month.
And it doesn't matter though.
Which is literally more.
It doesn't matter them.
Significant amount, but it requires extra work, and I don't think they've got the capability to do it. Unfortunately, they are right in some way that many brands hire entry-level Eastern European people with good English to basically do the negotiations for them. These are the actual brands. Yeah. And they aren't looking for value. They're looking literally to tick boxes on percentages as well. So here's the point. Josie's getting 3 to 5 million American and Western viewers a month on content, which is significantly more than I would say anyone in the space at the moment is getting.
So basically, if you're a brand and you want a sponsorship...
But brands won't...
Let a girl know.
Brands aren't listening to that because they can't wrap their heads around not paying... Because brand deals are mostly done by the amount of views you get.
Yeah.
And they can't wrap their heads around it because they're like, but we don't want to pay you per view because 80% of your views are Indians. And we're saying,
but you're looking at the number
don't then.
Yeah.
What would you pay someone who was getting 3 million Americans?
Yes.
Great. Pay us 50% of that. We'll take it.
Yeah.
It's too hard for everyone to figure out. And that's why if you're a smaller creator and you're a good negotiator and a good talker and you've got a business mind, free business idea for you, a niche specific travel industry agency, you would kill it. You could take 20% from us and we will go with you if you can get us regular deals.
In a freaking heartbeat.
You can take 20%. It's such a unique space that these brands don't understand.
Yeah.
Except for cool travel brands like your tour companies and your language companies. They seem to understand it. But your VPNs, like I'll name drop them, Athletic Greens, absolutely stupid.
So stupid. And if I'm worked with them in the future, we've resolved these issues. And I'm not a hypocrite. But right now,
but if you're a competitor of Athletic Greens, reach out. Because why the hell wouldn't you want to work with somebody who reaches 3 to 5 million Americans a month, who travels into countries that everyone thinks, how the hell does she not get sick? How does she keep up her good bacteria? How does she have good gut health?
Not only that, I was in the fitness industry for 10 years. I've been
an ex-fitness model level person.
I've been sponsored by Optimum Nutrition, EHP Labs. I've been sponsored by some of the biggest supplement brands in the world.
And if these brands just figured out, imagine and like obviously it comes down to a bit of luck and a bit of having a gut of steel. But imagine if like someone is like, how does this girl eat all this street food and not get sick? And then bam, I'm healthy every day because I take AG1.
Anyway, I don't want to give them... Stop giving them ad space. They haven't paid for it.
No. It's anti-ad space. Go with somebody else because if these people can't figure out something as basic as sponsoring somebody... Like
who's actually a good fit.
My marketing brain straight away just goes to how good a fit that would be. They should be focusing on travel as much as they're focusing on...
Well, they do. All their budget's going to Car and Aid, Name and Beck.
Oh, my God. And Car and Aid, Name and Beck... such a meme about it that I don't think it's even impactful anymore.
There's a lot of sponsorships going on. It's
It's
definitely a budget allocation, and they're getting the vast majority of it. Anyway, but this was an update video. So video. I keep saying video. Oh, I'm such a YouTuber. Podcast.
Yeah.
And we have some more exciting things to talk about, and maybe a bit more analytic things, a bit more things. We have a lot more episodes, weekly episodes coming from now.
We've kind of been a bit screwed over on ourselves because the first episode was an introduction to who we are. The second episode was life sucks right now. The views aren't coming in and we've just hit 100K. And now the third video is an introduction to what the last... So we haven't been able to structure.
If you want another introduction, go back and watch our first 2 episodes.
I mean, we haven't been able to structure an episode yet.
We forgot to tell you, we didn't forget, but the reason why we left in such a hurry is because we had a very serious family emergency. So we've kind of been on our feet for a while, but go back and watch the first or listen to the first 2 episodes, and we'll see you in the next one. We've got more coming.
The next one will be a very structured India wrap-up. The good, the bad, the ugly, not just complaining. It'll be give you an insight into...
Tips, tricks.
Yeah, insight if you want to go there as a traveller, as a creator, or as both. Or if in general you're just interested in what life is like there. You'll get a good behind the scenes. And then in future episodes, we will talk about things in more detail, like how brand deals are structured and how they work and how you can get the most out of them and how you can negotiate and some tricks with tips that we've used to succeed there. Basically, each episode should have a structure and a theme, and that's our plan. But we've really let ourselves down by stopping for so long that we can't really just come back with an episode saying, hello, here's how to do brand deals.
Yeah.
After that long, we did have to have this kind of huddle together. We're back. So if there's anything you'd like to say, actually...
What?
Would you reckon this podcast episode will come out before your YouTube Q&A?
Yeah, I think it's going to come out in a few days.
Okay, so if you're listening to this right now, and you're listening on YouTube, you can pop them in the comments. If you're listening on any other Spotify or any of those sorts of things, DM the Layover Podcast Instagram, which you'll be able to find in Josie Lifts Things bio on Instagram.
On my bio, yeah.
DM any questions you have for a Q&A that we have coming up. It might be live, it might not be live, but we're going to do a Q&A just to catch everybody up because the last time we did anything like this was 650,000 subscribers ago.
The other thing as well is we're hoping to record episodes hopefully from now as well. So maybe not the next one. We don't know. I want to record the next one because obviously it's easier to share and produce content like that. So you'll be able to see us hopefully from there.
Oh, you mean when you say record, we're recording now. You mean video, film.
Yes.
Film.
Sorry. Now I want to say video. Video us. But that's the plan. So you'll be able to actually see us
when there's more topics to talk about. It makes sense to video because we can create tips, can cut them down into bite-sized clips for other platforms as well.
Plus, I brought a tripod so we can use it. Anyway, it was good to see you guys, and it was good to catch up. But we'll see you. We'll listen to you. Well, you'll listen to us in the next episode.
We'll see you in the next one.
No, that's my YouTube tagline. You can't say that.
Bye pod.
Don't yell. Look.
Bye pod.
Stop. All right, stop.
Bye.
Stop.
Yes,
Here?
Yeah.